What's up, guys? Fusebox here, and we're gonna go over Warmaiden. I know she's an early game, farmable, rare, but that is precisely why I want to go over her. If you're early game, she's definitely one of the first you want to go for. And basically because of one move, but there's a little bit more to her, a little bit more that makes her usable. And let's start with the obvious. You don't want to hit her on her left shoulder, because if you hit her on that left shoulder, you're doing no damage. Look at that armor, right? I mean, that's some armor. Okay, so yeah, the barbarians they like to rough it. But hey, she is a good hero. She has some amazing assets. We'll leave it at that. I'm not trying to get too cheesy on her, but they made it pretty obvious. They made it hard not to go cheesy on her. So why is she so good? Well, first of all, I think it's an absolute amazing thing that they made her farmable almost from the get-go. When you start this game, you take your starter hero, you start building them up, because you're going to need a farmer, and most of the starter heroes do a very good job of farming, and the whole point in farming is to grow the rest of your heroes up to level 60 as well. Well, you can be farming her. We'll go into where you farm her here shortly. She's easy to get. You can book her out by when you're trying to upgrade your skills. You simply put other copies of her into her and you book her out. So there's really no reason not to book her all the way out and get everything you can out of her. Why would you? Her main use is gonna be Crumbling Blast, or A3. This attacks all enemies. It has a 75% chance to place the big version for a rare of decreased defense. So you can get this right off the bat and start using it to clear dungeon waves. Let's go through her kit though. She also has an A1. It hits one enemy and has a chance, and it is a 30% chance of placing the weak sauce version of poison. Really nothing to see here, let's be honest. If you're very early game, she brings defense down and a weak poison for the clan boss. Not where you're going to want to use her, trust me, but there's an option if you're just starting the game out. Now, Opportunity Strike's not too bad. It's not too great, but not too bad. It does place increased attack on herself, and then she gets an extra hit as long as she crits. The extra hit cannot be critical. That's a bit of a bummer. So they're kind of these are a little bit nerfy, but this is the reason you want her. That being said, she's super easy to get because she's free to farm. I believe it's the Deadlands. We'll go look in just 1 minute. Now, on some of my accounts, I went straight to building her out. If you all of a sudden get lucky and pull like Tayrail, where's my Tayrail, or Stagnite, if you get somebody else that can put a defense down, maybe Zargala, and brings a whole lot more utility, there's nothing wrong with stopping and switching gears. But there's still a reason to bring her and to build her up. In the Doom Tower, there are rooms where you can only bring rares. Well, this is an amazing hero to bring in, and also while you're trying to work on your faction wars for the barbarians, right here you can build for free to play a level 60 that brings defense down. So in a way, we're going to be talking a lot about what defense down does as an AoE, but we're going to focus on Warmaiden. So simply put, she actually does pretty good damage, especially for a rare. So when you build her out, really, you're going to build her as if she were a flat-out attack champion. You're going to want to try to stack some attack on her. She's a rare. You're not going to hit those amazing numbers. You do want to go ahead and get your crit rate up. And then if you can squeeze some in, get some crit damage, because she actually can hit hard. If you put her in some real in-game gear, you'd be fairly impressed with her. She's not going to break the game, but she's absolutely usable, even in game. At least all your level 20 dungeons, anywhere her affinity lines up, she's a solid hero. Accuracy absolutely matters, because the reason you're bringing her is to place that debuff. That's really the reason she's there. You're going to probably want her to be fast. fast enough to be one of the first few of your champions to go, so she could take that defense down and let the rest of your group do their job. So when you're starting the game, she's going to be one of the first debuffers you come across. And like I say, if you get somebody better, moving straight onto them is not a problem. But coming back and finishing her out is going to have benefits, both for your barbarians. There are going to be places other than faction wars in Doom Tower. When they start rotating these secret rooms, there could be barbarians only. There's already rares only. She's great for that. Masteries, there's not anything amazing going on here. If you're going to take her into arena, she definitely does a decent job of doing damage and taking down their defense. So you could go with a build that includes Shield Breaker. You could go with Helm Smasher if that's your use for her, but typically she's going to help you in dungeons, early game progression. So we'll kind of run early game teams and show how she's useful. So War Master, basically a straight down into War Master, Life Drinker, because she's a little bit squishy. I like to kill streak, kind of get her attack going as she does get kills. Obviously, you're going to take your crit damage, crit rate. Accuracy is important. You might as well take your accuracy. If you're trying to get more accuracy, speed, or attack out of her, depending on your gear, Lore of Steel. If you don't need that, I would suggest going into Arcane Celerity, because it's going to boost her turn meter as her debuffs, her decreased downs, also her poison. If these things start to wear off, she'll speed up even more. You know I'm going to take Evil Eye, right? Every chance I get. And then Master Hexer, because the point in bringing her is to keep that defense down. So you might as well do it for as long as possible. So there's not a lot going on the Masteries, and you could play around 100 different ways with her, but basic usage, this is definitely a great way to go. So let's get into it. Let's take this armored up female barbarian and let's go and tear some things up. Alright, one of the first places that she's actually wonderful to have. One of the first dungeons, by the way, that you want to push is Dragon. The Dragon's Lair is where you're going to get all that important gear like Life Steal. Let's look at the things that it offers. Accuracy gear, early game, even into mid game, accuracy is hard to come by. Your Great Hall is not going to be maxed out, built real high. You're going to need accuracy gear to make sure you're landing debuffs with people like Warmaiden, Tyrell, everybody you bring to the clan boss, your poisoners. Speed gear. It's hard to get a fast build without speed gear. You're going to need lots of that, especially for your early game arena. And clan boss, trying to speed tune your teams. And life steal. It's your lifeline. Early game, early mid game, life steal is just about your only possible way to stretch out the fight with clan boss. So you're going to need these things. You're going to need these three right here are so important. So Dragon is your first focus. Stalwart becomes great later on. There are uses for Destroy, Toxic. Some of these can be amazing sets, but these three right here are pretty much your most important sets starting out. So her affinity makes her perfect for the final stage of Dragon and all of the blues along the way. She's neutral on the reds. So let's just take her in and let me real quick build like a beginning team, a team that you can easily build early game. Okay, so we're staying neutral affinity or strong affinity because we don't have an amazing strong team. The only support I'm going to bring Apothecary. I could bring Seal of the Drakes and still call it a free to play thing, but Reliquary Tender at level 50. Making a free to play team is really something that you can't do because a free to play player may have a skull crown. You're going to pull heroes, so I'm only doing this to show very rares, weaker champions. That is 100% doable. It does take gear. You get the gear as you grind towards stage 20, but what's important is what she's bringing to this. So what we're going to do, instead of running the entire dungeon, let's get in here and let's show what it looks like with and then without her doing her debuff. We speed up. We can just, I guess we'll increase our turn meter a little. And here we go. Crumbling Blast. She's the right affinity. Everybody is weak. Now that we've got everybody down, we're just going to go ahead and A1 with Reliquary. And now Kel's our only real nuker. Their defense is down. He's doing 20 to 25,000 a hit. Let's real quick. Now, yeah. We're not gonna sit through it. Let's get out of here. Ouch! There goes my energy. All right, so let's replay this. Let's go ahead and redo this team, and let's just take her out. And it doesn't matter if we can take anybody we want at this point, as long as we're not breaking defense. What you're gonna see. It really just doesn't matter who we bring here. Kel being our only actual attacker, we're just going to speed everybody up. We got a lot of speed on this team. We'll do the same thing. We'll kind of keep our turn meter boosting. A1 with her. Well, now here's Kel without breaking defense. 8 to 11,000. Now think about how much quicker you're going to beat this by bringing somebody with defense down. So it doesn't have to be Warmaiden, but since she's free, she's the one we're going to focus on. So, ouch, man, I'm wasting that energy, but we're going to go ahead and put her back in. And let's not let this take forever. Let's put in somebody that can hit. He doesn't hit that hard. We're going to put in somebody just to get us through the waves. The poisoners are going to take care of the rest. We're just doing this for time. So now we don't have to, there's no point in slowing this down. We can watch her numbers. She's hitting for 7 to 9,000, and after she goes, Kel's hitting back for 25,000. Now she's pulling numbers like 17,000 herself. Now we're gonna look at the actual numbers at the end. Somebody's at the door. Sorry. I have a big dog. She's a good dog, but I have a little dog that's a nightmare. I apologize. But anyways, I don't want to edit this. I want to kind of watch it go through. So defense is not down. Now we're hitting for 10, 11,000 again. We'll come back around to that move. We did not bring a reviver. What have we done? We're going to be all right, guys. We're going to be all right. Maybe. So now we broke defense, and our big guy can come in and hit hard, slam everybody down. So luckily, even though Kill's gone, we still have somebody that can hit hard. We should get through this without any problems because we got a few stuns. We got their turn meter down. The difference in time and efficiency, and possibly the difference in even beating this stage, is having defense down. She's the perfect affinity here. So is Zargala. And Zargala is, by all means, a better champion for doing this. But if you're still struggling early game, it's easier to build a rare. It's easier to get the potions you need, the books you need. You don't need any books. You can just farm her up. We're going to go look at that in just a moment. So she's going to help you out a ton early game. And still be useful in the end game. So what we'll do, I'll show you where you can still be using her to this very day as your basically best option for defense down as a rare. Her only competition is Dagger, and Dagger is a void, a little harder to get, and also not 100%. Very close to 100%, but Warmaiden is 100% going to land that defense down. So there you go. I mean, put in a Bellower or whoever you want, a support champ here. She helps whoever you bring get through the waves, and her damage, I mean, aside from our poisoner and a giant biggin over here, her damage is actually quite impressive. So she would have kept up with Kel, except for at the end the poisons would have brought him a little further along. So let's just real quick talk about it. If she's the one you built up, you can take her into arena. Let's get us a fresh. Boy, my game is lagging. All right. So all you got to do is hope, and that's a nasty team. We're going for it. We're going for it, guys. All right, you're going to have somebody fast. If you don't have Arbiter, Haikatoon, just make her really fast. And then, so we're going to bring our debuffer, and it's going to be her. And then whoever you have. I mean, there's no reason for me not to take the strongest hero I've got. If Kel's all you got, you can bring Kel. That'll be just fine. You won't win every fight, but you got to bring who you have. So you boost up. Okay, I accidentally outran. We're going to just take a regular A1 here. I outran my debuff. But right here, she can throw down the debuff. And then Kel can come in and clean up behind her. I mean, we're dealing with a Mountain King here, so we're going to have to come back around and fight him. But that we'll real quick wipe him out and be all right. So, Warmaiden free to get, which is the most important thing. I think it's great that Plarium made an amazing rare champ so easy to come by. Now, let's talk about how to get her, and then we'll look at another place she's absolutely great. You go to campaign. If you're early game and you're struggling to get, maybe you're still working towards building your first or second level 60, go to the Deadlands. Yeah, there she is right there. You can go to the Deadlands and be farming stage 3 here, still getting shields to sell, getting decent experience, but at the same time earning copies of her to feed into her while you're leveling her up, all right here on stage 3 of the Deadlands. Absolutely a great way to get your game started, or if you've never done it, it might be worth going back and doing. Why would you want to do that? Because the Doom Tower pretty consistently has a team where you want to bring all rares. And oddly enough, because it wants you to do this by turns, this team, I actually took only 3 characters because the other characters were just taking extra turns. So the idea here is when we go in, we don't even have to rush it. But this is why you still want some of these good rares, some of the good ones. She breaks the defense, making it easy for Kel to come through and try to get the wipe. And then we just clean up with the Bellower. And then we're just going to have to get through this. Which one? This can increase her attack. The extra hit might be more handy here. So now we pretty much just have to take our moves, get through here until we're back around to her good move. But Kel might be able to finish this out. So we're not going to waste. Let's do this so we don't waste it. And now we should be ready, reset, to come back and break their defense. And there you go. It's actually faster. I guess this would work just fine on auto. It's actually less moves. That was a 12 move run to not have extra characters, and she makes that possible. And she also brings damage. She brings damage as well. So even an in-game reason to build her. And I'm going to tell you right now, the further you get in this game, the more heroes you get. Eventually, you kind of just want to have fun sometimes, and these rares are great to substitute in and see what you can do, how far you can push them. So there's no point in keeping this long. If you're starting out, definitely go for Warmaiden. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this short. So let me know in the comments if there's anybody that you want me to put a guide out on. I'm still on call, but I'm getting so close, guys. As soon as I get off, I'm going to start trying to have more fun, doing some more interesting stuff. But right now, I have, almost 600 champions to try to put guides out on, at least the good ones. So Warmaiden is absolutely a great hero. With that small caveat, don't always get caught up. Me saying a great hero is great. There are better, and you always want to go with the best that you got so you can progress the fastest. You can always come back to them, and that's it. That's my thoughts on her. Until next time, enjoy the grind.